Welcome back, everybody. We finished another week. That was the A cohort. So now we're going to go into a B cohort. So some of you attended Friday and some of you didn't. As we get ready for the next week, this is the week for geometry students. Pi Day. Monday and Tuesday, we're going to celebrate Pi Day. But before we do that, let's make sure that we celebrate all those people that did extra work last week. So, cheers to those of you that did extra work. And we're ready for our shout outs this week. It was amazing how many of you went online to Mathia. For those of you that are participating, I told you Mathia was more enjoyable this semester. So, without further ado, our shout outs go to Isabel Bennett, Alexis Brandt, Emma Contois, Claire Darlin, Theo Gepetti, Maddie Hamilton, Nathan Hansen, Hunter Lawson, Colin McBride, Valen Magala, Quinn Moses, Noah Murphy, Jackson Knoll, Xavier Murphy. I missed it again. Sorry, Xavier. That's Xavier Thorne. I'm going to get that right yet. Sorry, Xavier. And Maya Westenskow. Then we have Kristen Barnett, Spencer Deerdorf, Maya Eckel, Carter Harris, Kylie Heiner, Arthur Lucan, and Serenity Sebasta. Now, before we do our xylophone, you'll notice some red stars. Those folks, Valen Magala, Kristen Barnett, and Maya Eckel, all went over and above and did 2 longer sessions. So, again, shout outs to the Mathia people. A little xylophone action there. And then we're in hybrid learning. We're finally back in the class, right? And classes are built for discussions. And Mr. Miller is magical how he gets people involved and he's telling stories and then he makes the math more fun. But it wouldn't be a classroom without participation. So, our shout outs this week for class participation and extra work go to Isabel Bennett, Kaiten Blankenagel, Claire Darlin, Sarah Gonzalez, Nathan Hansen, Hunter Lawson, Colin McBride, Quinn Moses, and Jackson Knoll, Kristen Barnett, Spencer Deerdorf, Maya Eckel, Alyssa Granados, Kylie Heiner, Ash Quintana, Devin Martin, and Teddy Weston. And one more time with our xylophone. Different bell. So, that was awesome. There's a pause. We finished Module 3, Topic 1. If you turn to page 181 in your book, the next couple of weeks we've got to prepare for trigonometry. If you look at the back wall, you'll see that giant green triangle that Mr. Miller put up. We've got to learn some new vocabulary, and we're going to do something called special right triangles, okay? And a great way to lead into that is with Pi Day. So let me clean things up here, and I'll be right back, and we'll talk about what is this stuff on the board and where does pi come from? See you in a minute. All right, welcome back. So we just got through with all of our shout outs. We're blessed to be back in school hybrid. And this is a perfect time because the most famous day of the whole year in math is Pi Day. So Sunday, March 14th. We're in school on the 15th and 16th, and we're going to celebrate Pi Day. The very first thing, There's songs. Mr. Miller's going to play you a couple of other versions of Pi Day songs. Did you know, remember when we did those transformations and we were reflecting? Did you know that if you write 3.14 and reflect it, it says pi? Oh, this is so cool. Okay, now this week we've wrapped up those similar triangles and we're ready to move on. What do you mean we're ready to move on, Monty? Well, we want to spend some time. We're going to pause in the book. This actually isn't in the book. This idea of special right triangles. Remember the box? Cut it in half. That's called a 45, 45, 90. There's all sorts of stuff to learn. Now, there's another triangle called the 30, 60, 90. There's all sorts of stuff to learn. Then, this whole time, don't forget Pythagoras, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, because we're going to be doing that. Serious. So let's get started. Mr. Miller's going to dig out the tools, right? We've got stencils where we can actually draw a perfect 30, 60, 90. We've got a compass where we can draw a perfect circle. And then today, you guys are going to be getting a protractor. That way we can actually measure the angles, okay? But without further ado, we got to get on to pi. What is this thing called pi? Do you guys know what pi is? Where does it come from? All right. Vocabulary: the circumference, the distance around. Okay, we got to have the distance around the circle. The diameter, the distance across a circle. And then we got this thing called the radius. Okay, in class, Mr. Miller's going to hand you a template. We're going to measure it. Okay, that template turns out to have a circumference of, it's about 13 inches. Okay, then you're going to take your protractor and you're going to measure across, and it's about 4 1/8. 4 1/8 inches. For those of you that don't like fractions, that's okay. 4.125. Now, everybody, practice pi. Pi is equal to the circumference divided by the diameter. And that template you're going to have in class, if you take 13 divided by 4.125, you're very close. 3.1515. Okay? Now, you've got the handheld calculators, you've got your phone apps, you've got the Wabbit on your computer. Go find the pi button. You see it? You got to hit the second and then the caret key. That's the little arrow key that represents exponents. Once you see the pi symbol, everybody practice writing pi. And then hit enter, and it's going to actually write out 3.14159 ... because pi goes on forever. All right. So the rest of the activities this week are going to involve these special triangles and the circle that you have. Remember when we studied quadrants? Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3. All right. So we have a 90-degree quadrant. Then we're going to divide it up into these special triangles. It's going to be a magical week. Enjoy Pi Day. Thanks for coming. Hopefully we can do some shout outs this week, but we want to make sure that we appreciate the beauty of math and pi.